So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tutorial by Joel Amen, number 4. Tonight, as the title has mentioned, we will be talking about the video conferencing tools. What video conference tools are good for you? How much they cost? What can you do? And like most people are concerned, is the first concern that comes to people's mind. It's usually security. Safeties, can your conference call or your room can be hacked? Those are the things that we'll be talking about. Before that, let me just share quickly some of the things we do. Unfortunately, that video is in French, but I'm working on the English version soon.
Qu'est-ce que le monde retiendra de votre marque dans les prochaines années dépend de ce que vous allez faire aujourd'hui. Avec notre expérience ainsi que les apprentissages accumulés au fil des années, nous sommes prêts à vous fournir les habiletés pour pouvoir développer votre marque et l'établir dans le monde digital. Veuillez s'il vous plaît nous contacter dès aujourd'hui pour réserver un temps où nous allons pouvoir, avec des formations taillées sur mesure, vous donner le moyen, les habiletés pour pouvoir devenir le leader digital que le monde attend.
Welcome back. So for those of you watching from my personal profile on Facebook, unfortunately, I will not be able to see your comment. But if you're willing, you want to join me on this live and talk and discuss with me about what I'm about to share tonight, please feel free. And I'm going to post the comment right here, create a banner and say, all right, this is the link. Okay. Hold on, let me see. So this is the link for you to join this panel to talk about, to discuss with me what I'm about to say. And again, if you have any questions, I'm here available to answer any of your questions. So most of the time, people go to whenever, and now that we are in this time, whenever people feel like going on a conference call or being for business, for a nonprofit organizations, churches, I see a lot of them doing that right now. They're using Zoom conference tool, which is a great tool, and it was among the first ones in the market. Being advertised to us, not the first one in the market, but being advertised to most of the people last year when people were called to stay home due to this pandemic. And people have used it and came to love it. And why? Because it was so easy for them to connect, easy to connect with the family, easy to connect with the people they loved and they care about. And that's how Zoom became the tool of reference, if I may say, for many, many people today. But is it the right solution for everybody? We will see. I'll show you why and when you can consider Zoom and when you can consider another tool, like I mentioned in the thumbnail of this video, such as the Facebook group or Google Meet. All of them, they offer this ability, this facility, this way of connecting with people through a video tool, a video conference. So provided that whoever's connecting to that conference, that invitation, that link, as a camera, as a microphone, and as a speaker or headphones, so they can hear what people are saying, those tools were fine. But the question now comes from, some of the people that looked at it, if I may bring those questions, is it the only tool that you can use for video conferencing? Is Zoom the only tool that you can use for video conferencing? I'll say no. Is it safe? I'll say yes, it is. Are all of them safe? that's where we probably need to define what safety and security means. If you mean that just the safety, the security around your meeting, so nobody can hack in your meeting, like we saw in the earlier version of Zoom, I'll tell you that all of the tools are safe. For example, the Facebook room gives you a tool where you can lock the room. Nobody else can come in unless you invited them. They can leave, but nobody can come just as if it was a bar or restaurant. No, they need to have an authorization. They need to have an invitation from you to join that room. I believe it's the same thing with Google Meet, which I haven't really used. And hello, Joel Kalonga Kazadi. Thank you for joining us. So Google Meet gives you also the ability to meet with, to connect with people through a webcam or a camera on the phone, a camera or webcam from your desktop with a microphone and speaker so that you can exchange, you have a conversation with the people watching. So when it comes to security, when it comes to safety, there is one rule of thumb that let me emphasize on this. If you think that whatever you say, you'll not be comfortable for people hearing it in the public, I'll tell you, regardless of the platform, don't say it. In those platforms, and like in anything, only share and talk about things that can be one day made public and without causing you any discomfort or any shame or any liabilities. What I mean by that is, like even now that I am doing this live stream, if I had a guest who had come to my show and joined me on this platform, and let's say, for example, decide not to turn on their camera, so I would not be able to see what they were doing. But I would not be able, for example, to see if they have another camera recording the whole thing. So it could be in Zoom, it could be in Microsoft Teams meetings, it could be in any secure platform, as they may call themselves. But as long as a person does not have the intention of reusing or recycling whatever you're going to share, exchange in the platform, I'll tell you, you are not safe. You can only rely on people's sincerity and honesty not to tape or videotape your conversation with them. Because that conversation or whatever you share with them, you're probably doing it in good faith and based on the relationship or based on the product or whatever services you're giving them. So you're doing that in good faith. But if they don't have that good faith, if they're not that honest as you would expect them to be, so whatever information you share, regardless on the security that you have on the tool, people can still take it and share it with the public. So based on that, my recommendation for you is you better use the tool that works for you, that is easy for you to use, that's simple enough for you to use, and most importantly, simple enough for your friends, your family, your customers to join and follow you and listen to you. And this topic was really came to my attention when I was talking to one of my customers who told me that they use Zoom and are trying to implement the users of Zoom and connect it with other platforms such as YouTube and Facebook. And the first question I had in mind when they asked me was, how many people connect with you on that Zoom bridge? And how often do you do that? Do you have those meetings? And she was like, why? I said, because you're paying a subscription. And if you're going to pay for a subscription and not use it that often, to me, it was not a great business decision. Although, if you were connecting with at least once a month, but with more than 50 people, I'll say, yes, it makes sense. Because Zoom has made it possible for you to have up to 100 guests on a paid account. But if you don't have 100 guests, you don't even have 50 guests on a regular basis. Let me welcome to the show, Dimitri. Welcome,
Hello.
sir.
Hello, hello.
Yes. So, like I was saying, if you don't have that many people that join you on a regular basis on a Zoom call, and you don't have more than 50 people, then you don't have more than one meeting per month, then paying for Zoom subscription is a little bit too much. Why? Because, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you were listening.
I was here.
All those platforms, they're as safe as the content you're sharing and the people you're sharing with. Because if those people you're sharing with are not honest, they intend harm to you, they'll record it regardless. They'll find a way to record your conversation.
Yeah.
And one of the way they do it, it's usually by turning off their camera. And that's why you see, for example, some businesses today, even professional, they'll, when you go to a video call, they ask people to turn on their camera. Why? Because yes, they want to see what you're doing. Okay. Because if somebody turn off the camera, you don't know what they're doing.
The world is going crazy.
Yes, because I could be on camera, I turn it off, and I'm like this. You don't know. You don't see me. You don't see me, but I'll give you excuses and say, I cannot do this. But behind my screen, I'm taping everything you're saying. So
okay.
So
that's a very good point.
From there, how safe are you on Zoom if somebody's going to tape you without your knowledge? Okay.
Yeah, it's a risk you're still taking either way. Yeah.
Exactly. So again, like some I was listening to some guy today. He's a data scientist. He deals with data, and that was his advice. He says, regardless of the platform, regardless of the operating system of your phone, only share information that you're not going to be ashamed of if it was to go public.
Okay. That's a very wise advice.
Simple.
Makes sense.
And it was talking again about the new war between those messaging platforms, and say they are all the same, just different names. But
so there's no one platform that's better than the other one in terms of safety, in terms of protection.
There's none.
Okay, so all the same.
So why we say this is because, and again, this is where I invite people to take a look at the terms of service. Hello, who just joined us? Okay, so let me remove my banner so that we have we can see ourselves. Okay, so the thing is, you see, for example, our guest here, 608 Shredder, has joined the call and maybe recording us.
So we don't know.
We don't know.
But it's a good thing we have nothing to hide.
Exactly, because it's public.
Yeah.
So going on Zoom, Facebook group, or Google Meet, as long as you know what you're sharing, and as long as you're comfortable, again, that if that information was to be made public, you will be safe, then you don't have to worry. Then you don't have to worry about who's there, who's not. And as a matter of fact, if it's a video call where people have to pay, then those are customers of yours. They're there for a coaching session. They're there for whatever activity, whatever event that you have.
Okay? A question for you.
Yes.
A few months ago, the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, was saying that using any Chinese platform in terms of protection of your information was actually very unsafe, in the sense that Chinese platform are actually owned in the background by the actual government entities, different government agencies. So you don't know exactly to which end they're going to use information. What do you say when it comes to that? Is it true, or we can rely on any social media or any platform to actually join a meeting and be safe in terms of protection of information? So
again, we go back to what are you sharing in your meetings? Because again, if you're plotting against the government, then no phone is safe. No platform is safe.
Okay.
You see, that's a problem. That's a challenge. Remember that issue with the FBI tracking one of the terrorists using an iPhone encrypted, but we all know how he ended up. They were able to unlock the phone.
Yeah.
It took them time, but they did it.
Okay.
So again, that's where you need to really be mindful of what you're sharing. Okay. So there's no place safer or then better. No.
Okay.
Because even in the Western world, like where we're living right now, the reason why the government are involved, they making all the noise and they making sure that all these laws are in place, is because they still want to, within the laws that they have, to keep a room for them in case they need to access those information.
Okay.
Go to those manufacturers and say,
makes sense.
I need that information.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
As soon as they start following you, for whatever reason, whatever you're saying, all it takes for them is to go to those platform providers and say, this is the warrant, and we need all the record of this person.
As it was the case a few months ago with the Nigerian, I want to scammer, a business, quote unquote, gentleman from Dubai. He was actually posting pictures of himself on Instagram. And eventually, when the FBI tried to actually get a hold of him, they just went to Instagram and they say, you know what, we'd like to have access to the gentleman information. Tell us specifically where he's located. And that's how they got him.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's where you look at all this and say, okay, I know now what all those platforms are made. And one piece of advice that I'll give anyone watching and will watch even later, always read the terms of service.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will be surprised and amazed to see how much you give away when you accept the terms of service of any platform. As you can see, I have a phone, I have a WhatsApp, I have a Signal. Just to share a little bit with you, as soon as I signed for Signal, Signal was telling me which one of my contact was already on Signal.
Oh, Signal is one of the newest one, like Messenger, like WhatsApp?
Yes.
I was not even aware of that.
They were telling me already which one of my contact is a Signal account. So you tell me that your information is protected. Because the terms of service for most of them, I was even looking at another one, It clearly says that we need to access this so that we can offer you or let you know that your friends or people you know are already using our platform. Because that's a key element for them. Because if they can show you connections with other people, then you're most likely to stay on the platform. Or, versus having knowing no one on the platform, you will not stay longer.
Yeah.
Remember,
True.
I5, when most people start leaving I5, we did not find any reason to stay on I5. We all jump on Facebook. Why? Because that's how it's, when you realize that your friends are no longer there, then there's no need for you to stay. Now, we talked about Zoom, we talked about Facebook Room, and I was looking at Google Meet as a tool. Now, let me share, for example,
because Google says that Zoom is not safe, which is very interesting. Google says Zoom is not safe, and they say that their platform, because they control more information, and they've been in the business for much longer than Zoom, and they have a much robust data infrastructure behind them. It'll be much safer than Zoom and so on and so forth. So that's a very good question. So Google is huge. Google owns YouTube. Google owns all these platforms. If they say that Zoom is not safe, so maybe there could be some truth to that. So what would you tell us?
I can't stop laughing because
I mean that's what they're telling us. They're saying that their platform is the safest because they've been in business for so long, and they have the largest and the safest data infrastructure in the background, so no one can actually beat them or compete with them when it comes to that.
My only comment is, what are you sharing? So if you're going to create a Zoom account, set up a Zoom account and set up a Zoom call and start trashing or bashing people, what can I say? All it takes is for somebody even from the same people that were in your conference call to report you to Zoom, and you'll be banned, actually. So it goes back to the same thing of knowing what you're sharing on any platform. That's a bottom line. If you know that what you're sharing on the platform, if it was to be exposed or made public, and you will not incur any trouble with nobody, then it's safe. But if you're looking for a tool, a platform where you can exchange highly classified, highly sensitive information, they are out there and they cost a lot of money.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I can tell you they are really high-level things, to the point that they tell you if you lose this code, your account is gone. So that's how bad it is. So they tell you don't lose the code, because we don't have a tool, we don't have a way to let you recover your account.
Okay. And so for the regular people, so which one would be best, Zoom or Google?
Again, so
same information. So regular people doing regular conferences with regular people, regular topic, nothing fancy. Which one is the best at the moment?
Best. It's all depend on what you're using it for. How many people do you have? That's the first question. How many people are you expecting? How many people do you think you'll have on a regular basis? So that's the first thing.
Okay.
If it's less than 50 and you'll be using it maybe once a month, I'll say go for a Google Meet or a Facebook Room.
Okay.
Why? Because it's free. Okay, it's free, it's available, it works, and the quality, it's based on the camera that you have. So the better the webcam quality you have, the better the image will be. And because most of these tools allow you connecting to them via either a desktop or a phone. So regardless of the tool you're using to connect, most of them allow you to connect a microphone and headphones. So if you have that, you can be guaranteed that your conversation quality will be good.
Okay.
Now, if you have a good camera, and for those of you who don't know, we have a lot of recommendation. If you check on our YouTube channel, tips and for mobile videos, you'll see what we suggest that you can use to have a good quality video quality for your calls or video conference call. And so that's where it all starts. Because I heard somebody today was like telling me, "Oh, I don't like the way I look." I say, "What do you use to connect to your conference call?" "I use my laptop." I say, "Of course. The integrated camera of your laptop is not that great quality. It will not give you a great image. And plus, if you don't use the proper lighting or during the day, you're not facing a window, then guess what? You'll be dark."
And the truth of the matter is, most laptops were not created with the lockdown and the pandemic that we've been in for the past few months. Most laptops were just created for some basic, very casual conversation that will not require for you to be in front of the camera for a long time and to look professional. It was just for fun. I would just call my friend and be here. So it will not be the bid for this.
Exact. Yeah. And the reason is for any manufacturer to have a lens or tool inserted in the laptop, the lens to provide a good quality need a certain amount of space, certain technology. Yes, the argument that is out there right now, people are saying, okay, our phones are slim. They're using a good quality lens on the phone. Why can't they incorporate it on the laptop? So that's probably a business reason. Because look at the price of the phones.
Absolutely.
With good quality lens.
Yeah.
So if they have to incorporate that in a laptop, are you willing to pay $4,000 to $5,000 for a laptop? Maybe not. So it's probably a business decision. Okay. So let me share my screen and
yes,
look at how, for example, you can create. Okay, I'm going to share the entire screen. Okay, you're probably watching it right now. In the background, I put this window here just because it's my personal Facebook. And I have some people that's available, probably watching or sending me messages, and I don't want to show them in the public. So in the back, you can see this is the messenger. And let me just go back a little bit. I'm using a desktop, and for the Facebook room, you need to download the Facebook Messenger app on your desktop. And you log in, and it will give you this functionality. If you go directly from your desktop and you go to your Facebook account, you click on a messenger, you will not be able to create a room. I tried that, and I know. You will not be able to create a room. So if I was to come here, I'll say click create a room, okay? And then I say invite with a link, join without an account, use any device. And then bang, I can say room activity. Now, you see where the safety comes, and say who can discover and join. I can say only friend or friend with invite and people with the link.
Okay, so that this is Facebook.
Messenger. Okay. Right, Facebook Messenger, the app. I can, for example, schedule that for later. I can say this is the room, and I can create the room and start inviting people. Let's say I'll go for tomorrow, the 22nd, 6:45. And I can say, friends you invite, or friends you invite, and people with the link. Good, because then I can invite them. All right, now it's asking me the people that I would like to invite. As soon as I do that, and I can type the name, okay, I'll say, if I send them an invite, they'll be forced to call. So I don't want to send them an invite right now. But this is how it works. And once you create a room, you can lock it. You can lock it, as I said, to prevent anyone from coming in your meeting.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So this was the
Facebook Messenger.
Facebook room messenger, which is created in a Facebook room.
Okay.
So Facebook Messenger, you create a room, you invite people, you name it the way you want, and it's pretty locked. So only you can invite, I mean, your guests can use the link, invite others, but you'll be able to see who's coming.
So when was this launched? When did Facebook launch this?
Sometimes in April.
Last year?
Yes, 2020.
Okay.
Yes.
But it has been very popular because people don't really talk about it.
No, because, I mean, people are really drawn to Zoom. People only know Zoom. And, I mean, and of course, it was still at the beginning, a lot of bugs. They need to, make sure that it's working fine. And I believe now that it's working fine and they're making it known to people, so people are trying it. And like any applications, it need a certain amount of people to start using it for the developers to make it work better.
Okay.
To make it worthwhile to develop it even more.
Okay.
Yeah. So makes
sense.
If there are no people using it, there's no sense for them to invest money, to invest resource on building that tool. Yeah.
Have you used it yourself for any meeting, or heard of anyone that used it and successfully?
Yes,
was good. Quality was good.
Yes, I was invited to a meeting about 3 weeks ago, and I would say no complaint. No complaint. It was mostly like a Zoom. The feeling, the way it works, it was mostly like a Zoom where you can move the people and decide, okay, I want to see if the main speaker is speaking, make it large, or have everybody in grids.
Okay.
Yeah, so practically the same thing. And again, the same principle. Whenever you join those kind of calls, you make sure that you have a headphone, so you don't use your microphone and the speakers from your computer. Otherwise, they'll create echo and unpleasant sound feedback to the whole conversation.
Yeah. And question. Yes. So for the host, is there a possibility to actually record the actual meeting?
Apparently, there is one, but last time we could not figure out to do it. I mean, yes, the host has to do it, but unfortunately, the host at the meeting was having some trouble and he could not. I mean, he started the meeting on the phone and wanted to continue the meeting on the computer, and it was giving him trouble. And unfortunately, he could not. But because it was like, more convivial conversation, it was fine. We didn't need the recording.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, so if we talk about the Zoom.
Yeah, because that's a game changer. Zoom, for anyone who's into coaching or setting up conferences, it gives an advantage, which is to record if you actually pay for the service.
Exactly. So that's the thing. You have to pay for the service.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at least it's there as an option, because if, let's say, I were to have a conference and invite people, or just a training, or just invite people. So as I'm training people, as I'm actually hosting the conference, if I decide that at the end of the conference, I'd like to actually keep a copy of this actual meeting, I can do that with Zoom. But with Facebook, that was just my only query or question so far.
Okay, we can probably research that and provide you with feedback.
Yeah.
And we'll probably put that in the comment once we try it. Is it possible to record your Facebook room conversation and make it available after. Yes, we can probably find it. As you can see, now we're looking at the Zoom.
Yeah.
So bill monthly. Okay. So the basic, it's free. You can have up to 100 participants, but limited to 40 minutes. And
but you could go for longer during the Christmas season.
Yes, they have specials during special times, special event, where they will give you unlimited time, because it's a way to advertise. It's a marketing strategy. So people feel comfortable and joining and coming and doing, sharing their conversation. So again, you have this. Now, with a $20 a month, Canadian dollars, my question is still the same. Do you have more than 50 guests coming to your meeting on a regular basis? Okay. That allow you to do that. And how long do you want your meetings to be? So all these things, that's where you start thinking about, you start considering the tool. Because when I look at it, for example, Zoom says, okay, I'll just make it bigger for people probably watching on a small screen. Okay.
Yeah, myself as well.
So they give you 1 gig of cloud recording per license. Okay. A 1 hour video streaming like this one, it's about 500, depending on how many people I can have connected. I believe between 350 and 500 megabytes. So a 1 gig
for 1 hour. Okay.
Yes, for 1 gig, I'll be out of space with my 2 weekly live streaming. That's where you start thinking, are you planning just to be just coaching or preaching? Again, even preaching, I'll say, why do you want to use Zoom? If all you want is to see people, why do you want to use Zoom? Because you're preaching. Okay? Like now I'm preaching. I don't know how many people are watching, but I'm preaching to a couple of people. Do I really need to see them? Yes and no. Why? Because I'm using a tool, StreamYard, where if people make a comment, I can see it and I put it on my stream. Okay. So for me, if I'm looking for interaction, this is how I'll get my interaction. Instead of going with a tool like Zoom, which is good, a great tool for the purpose of the people who would like to have that kind of interaction. But if what I need is not really the people face to face, or people are not going to talk, because let's put it this way, it's really Zoom conference and Facebook rooms, Google Meet, they're really good if your audience is going to participate and talk. Let me put it this way. It's like inviting people to a restaurant.
That's a very good point.
Where you're going to pay for a plate, regardless of if they're going to eat or not. You see?
Very good point.
You go to a buffet. Yeah, you go to a buffet.
You bring 20 people, but if they don't eat, you still pay for 20 people.
Pay. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a Zoom. So it's like, okay, I need it because I have 100 people. But are those 100 people going to talk? Do you want them to talk? Do you want them to participate? Are they really going to bring any value? If not, you are paying for a plate for somebody who doesn't want to eat that food. So why am I going to pay? And that's why I say it's a financial decision. Why will I pay $20 for a tool for people who are not going to talk? I'd rather take my $20 and pay a StreamYard, invite people, and ask people to put a comment or ask a question in the chat so that I can look at the chat and answer the questions.
But the only thing as well is that most people are not really familiar with anything outside of Zoom, right? So when you actually set up a meeting outside of Zoom, you may run into a situation where people say, "I don't know what application you're actually using, so I might not be able to actually join." That's just a common answer that you may get for many people. Zoom has become like the Google. It's become the Google of online or virtual meetings.
Again, it's your responsibility as a host to educate your people or make sure that they know how to use the tool where you're inviting them.
Okay.
Because, it's not everyone who can be tech savvy, understand all these things, understand applications. I know that. But it's your responsibility to make sure, for example, to search, research, or hire people like me to train them before your meeting.
Okay.
I'll train them. I will probably make a video and just invite them on YouTube and say, come and watch on YouTube, ask me any questions, and I can go step by step. As you can see, I can share my screen. As a matter of fact, I can even share my phone. I can connect my phone and share it to act as if I was joining, it's a call, a conference, so that people can see. So the value, because at the end of the day, it's let me put it this way. If I like to invite you to a sushi restaurant, I like to make sure that first I tell you what kind of food you're going to expect. And if you're really interested in learning how to use chopsticks, I'll make sure that, hey, you want to know how to use chopsticks and to eat your sushi? This is how you do it. But if the person is fine, doesn't mind, eating with a fork, taking a sushi with a fork, then it's okay. You see? But it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm inviting you, and this is what you need to expect. Are you familiar with this tool? If they say no, okay. Do you mind that I give you 15, 20-minute tutorial on how to do it so that when you come, the experience will be flawless and you will be enjoying the experience? Yes, okay, no problem. Take time, show them, share with them, hey, go step by step, or find a video if you don't have time to do that on YouTube already that somebody already shared and explain how to do it. You see? Because yes, Zoom is there. Yes, it's, I don't want to use the word, but it's like, one of those big chains that people just go and get food fast and go because they're used to that. But not everybody, is ready to go and sit in a 5-star, a Michelin restaurant and enjoy Marcoussin or whatever. You see? So it's really up to you to invite them and do that. So you probably know how to create an account. So you just need to sign up. You click sign up, and it will ask you for your verification. Please confirm your date of birth. So again, as you can see, even signing to Zoom, you are giving personal information. Yes, people say, oh, I don't use my real identity. I don't use my real date of birth. Fine. But provided that you don't forget whatever date of birth that you use when you create those accounts. Because when you start creating a lot of them, then you don't remember. And then when you start creating some date of birth that are easy to remember, then anybody can hack into your account. So that's where you get caught. And plus, on top of that, now most of the platforms to provide more security, what they're doing, they say, or you can have a 2-step verification for enhanced security on your account. So what people forget, when you give your phone number, they can identify you. Why? Because all it takes, because now they have information that has already been verified by the phone service provider. So should anything happen, you can use any aliases on the platform, but because they have your number, all they have to do, call, retrieve who's the service provider, and ask them all the details. They say, we have a warrant. We need to have all the details of this person behind this number.
This phone number, yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Your information is gone.
You toast.
So, again, those are the things to keep in mind for those of you who are concerned about safety and all that. And I'm just reminding you, for the people watching from, hello, Dalia Show, for people watching from my personal Facebook, unfortunately, I'm not able to see your comment unless I go to that Facebook and see the feed. So it's probably good for you to come on my YouTube channel and, comment and share and with us and participate by asking questions so that we can answer that. Okay. So as we saw a couple minutes ago with the Zoom, it costs you, and then you just follow this. It's pretty simple, like you said. Most people know how to use it. Google Meet on the other end as well. Let's see. Google Meet. So you just click on it and create a new meeting. Okay, you can create a meeting for letters, start an instant meeting. Okay, and it gives you a link to the meeting. Okay, I save it. Okay, and my profile. Okay, now where do I go? New Meet. Okay, start an instant meeting. Okay, now it's asking me for my camera and all that.
Okay.
If I allow them, then I have to be on that camera. As you can see, it's pretty simple.
Yes.
Okay, pretty simple. And, it's ready. I can join, I can present, I can share my screen. And as you can see here, the cast. So the meeting, I can cast it on my screen, my TV, if I have an Android television.
Fantastic.
Yes.
This is great stuff.
So I can share it there, and I can present whatever I prepared, I can present it to the people on my call. So again, it's free. All matters, it's the quality of the camera. Hello, Rush Design Construct SRL. So it's really the quality of the camera that will determine the quality of my call with my guest. Okay. Camera, connections, and all that. Yes.
Excellent.
Like I said, there is another thing also to consider. Whenever you're inviting people for a video conference, ask them to run a test.
What, for the camera or for what?
No, the test for their internet connection speed.
Okay.
And when they run the test, ask them for the upload speed.
But why would that be important for you as a host?
Then because you can already determine from the beginning how good the quality would be.
Oh, the quality of the overall meeting based on the people's...
the quality of their their appearance. So what I usually recommend for they need at least 5 megabits per second of upload speed. Okay, and I have a video where I explain all that. I say what to expect. If they do have it, then they'll have a flawless video conference call with you. And if they have less than 5 megabits, and you're using any of the tools, like any of the platform that can allow them to turn off their camera, simply tell them to turn off the camera.
Much easier.
Yeah, much easier. They'll be able to talk. You'll be able to hear them. But if you ask them to turn on the camera, you will not be able to. They will not be able to do it well because they'll be stuttering.
Mm-hmm. But most people, what they do these days, that they will invite people actually to the meeting or to the conference, and they will simply make sure that the conference is actually recorded, so that at the end, if you miss anything, they will simply say, yes, for your convenience, we're going to send you a link so you can actually review the whole conference or the whole meeting at your own pace and yeah, free of charge.
Again, that's where you need to have a strategy as a business, as a coach, as a pastor, as a content creator. You need to know what are you intending to do with all these tools.
Content, yeah.
Is it only to do presentation? Then if you need a good presentation tool for the online audience, I'll say go for something free like Prism, where you can have graphics and all that inserted. You record it and publish it for a later time, or even do a live, because it's just a presentation you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You need interaction, but just feedback, questions like that. Then get something like StreamYard that we're using, where you can showcase people's comments, like we did, and then you can read and respond, if that's kind of interaction you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want people to speak, exchange, provide insight, and you want to look at them, then you can go at Google Meet, Facebook Room, or even Zoom. But then again, you need to consider, do I need to pay for this? How many people do I need on a regular basis? Is it less than 50? Then Google Meet and Facebook Room can do the job. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's just confirm how many people.
For Google Meet or for
100 participants.
Up to?
Yes.
Excellent. Fabulous.
Okay, so it tells you can have up to 100 participants. Okay, let me just Google pricing. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so it's free. You can have, if only you have one person meeting, you can go for 24 hours, which is basically saying you can speak the whole day with one person. Then you can have
one guest.
One guest, you can go for 24 hours, no problem. So group meetings, 3 participants and plus, an hour. It's right now an hour, and they're planning already. As you can see, Google is going to make it 24 hours for 3 participants and more, free. Free.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're really taking over.
So
they are really taking over.
Again, the question is, why do I need to pay?
Exactly.
When I can have some tools that are free.
Yeah, democratic process.
So that's why you need to start thinking. And even for churches, and I'm sending this message to pastors, and share with pastors and tell them, why do you need to pay when you can have something free? I'm not bashing Zoom because I use it and I love it. But if you don't need integration to other tools, if you need to have people to talk with you, and
yeah, why pay?
Why pay?
Yeah, why pay? That's a very good question.
Because I know Zoom can make it the same way, but they choose not to do it. They have the reasons, and probably they're still waiting on the return on investment. I
mean, yeah, Google, of course, they can afford to do it, because look at the size of Google now. They have the means. They can afford to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can join from a browser. You can invite external participant, native mobile apps, live closed captions, and basically, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So you look at it. You have the Google Meet, Facebook Room.
So right now, there's no preference one over the other, just a matter of knowing what you're using it for, the size of your audience, and the frequency of your meetings to actually determine which one is actually better for you. But I mean, if you can save $20, you can use it towards something else, and yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, $20 is $240 a year. So
which can be used to actually to buy equipment, to buy a nice camera, to buy a nice microphone. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's all about that, because to recap, security, it's the same.
The same, okay.
Because it allows you to lock your conversation and save. I mean, nobody else can join your calls. And to tell you the truth, it's because of what happened to Zoom last year, in March, the April, May, where people were were being
crashing conversation.
Yeah. Exactly. That all of them have taken steps to protect conversation from that. So nobody has that. So when it comes to your information, like I said before, don't share anything that you'll be ashamed of if it was to be made public. Bottom line, that's it.
Or anything that'll get you in trouble.
Or anything that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Don't share that in any platform. Don't do that. Then, because, like I say, somebody can join the call and without a camera and start recording us. How do we know? So if you take that as a principle, a way of doing things, then any platform that you'll be using, you'll be fine.
Absolutely.
You'll be fine.
Very informative. Thank you so very much.
All right. So for those of you who just joined us, now we were talking about the different tools. We talked about Zoom. We talked about Facebook Room. We talked about Google Meet. And we also showed you the different pricing models and all that. And we said what matters is really the frequencies of your meetings, the number of the guests that you would like to have on your meeting. So if you know that, based on that, then you can choose either one of the tools, because either one has a different option. Next thing is probably integration with other platforms. Yes, then you can evaluate that. You can see how well integrate with other platforms, Facebook, YouTube, etc. And again, if you're going to do it that way, and that's where I'll probably ask you to pause and say, what kind of public are you going after? Is it a classroom? Is it the whole world? So if it's a whole world, then do you want to talk to all of them? Maybe a 24-hour time would not be enough for you unless you are an Android. Then you can probably stay awake for 24 hours. But for most people, 10 hours max, like I've seen some of the live videos, live show on YouTube, 10 hours is probably the longest that a human can go being on live. So again, you look at all that, you may consider something like a StreamYard tool where you make your video public through. Right now, we're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on 2 YouTube channels. You make it public there. You can read the comments, add them to your stream so people can see, for example, that comment, and people can see, and you can respond to the comments. So this is how you can probably do the same thing without having to be limited in a Zoom. And as you know, if you click on the link in the description for the StreamYard, you'll be able to help us. And if you subscribe, you'll be able to help us with to continue producing this kind of content and doing more research. Absolutely. So we are almost at the end. We are a company that's been established in the greater region of Toronto since 2001. This year will be 20 years that we've been in operations. We've been helping small and medium businesses, organizations, mostly churches and individuals, grow their business and make their dreams a reality. They had a vision, they had a dream on a certain product, on a video project, or on a concert and a production. They reached out to us and we help them do that. So if you are in need of some support, you're looking for somebody to even train you on those technologies, please do not hesitate to call us. Our number is right there. As you can see, you can call us directly. You can call us through WhatsApp. You can even reach out to Signal. For those of you on Signal, we are also there available, although we haven't set up the profile yet, but we already registered. So if you send us a message, we'll be available to answer and set up a time, book a time with you so that we can go through your needs and provide you with the service that you require.
Excellent.
So what I'm looking for from you is send me your questions. If you have any challenge, if you have any, you've been trying to do something in the digital world. So digital is anything to do with audio, video, but in the digital, in the internet, and send me your question and tell me your challenge. Maybe we'll do a live and just to talk about those challenges. As you can see, our approach is really hands-on, where we go step by step and show you based on knowledge and real time. You can see how, for example, we were trying to build, to create a Facebook room and invite people for a meeting. So my name is Joel. I'm your servant here to help you grow your digital presence, because the world is waiting for your message. You have a specific message for an individual who lives in a place that you'll never be able to go, or you probably have never thought of. So the digital world is for you to release that message. Somebody's waiting for your message. Until then, I thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you for having us. Have a great night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye. Qu'est-ce que le monde retiendra de votre marque dans les prochaines années dépend de ce que vous allez faire aujourd'hui. Avec notre expérience ainsi que les apprentissages accumulés au fil des années, nous sommes prêts à vous fournir les habiletés pour pouvoir développer votre marque et l'établir dans le monde digital. Veuillez s'il vous plaît nous contacter dès aujourd'hui pour réserver un temps où nous allons pouvoir, avec des formations taillées sur mesure, vous donner le moyen, les habiletés pour pouvoir devenir le leader digital que le monde attend.